thousands of people try to pick their perfect retirement city in Portugal from a beach chair in July. Then February arrives, and I watch the regret show up in every expat group. The criteria that make a place perfect for a 2-week vacation rarely translate to year-round living. This quadrant chart maps the traditional beach towns. As you can see, places in the Algarve or Cascais score extremely high on vacation appeal, but their year-round livability score struggles. That livability score takes a drastic drop once you factor in the financial realities of 2026. The old NHR program, which gave foreign pensioners a highly favorable tax rate, is completely gone. Its replacement, IFCI, explicitly excludes foreign pensions. If you move today, your foreign pension is taxed at Portugal's standard progressive rates, which run from 12.5% up to 48%. The financial math you read in a 2022 blog post is officially dead. Add to that another major change. Portuguese citizenship now requires 10 years of continuous residence instead of 5. Clinging to the coastal postcard dream leaves you completely exposed to these new laws, financially and logistically, with very little room for error. To survive and actually thrive in Portugal now, you have to look past the beach resorts. The smartest option is a city that sits inland, one that almost no retiree puts on their initial shortlist, Coimbra. Picking a city based on vacation aesthetics guarantees failure in 2026. Success requires optimizing for the boring structural realities of taxes and livability. As you age, the most critical metric for any international move is your access to complex specialist healthcare. The public healthcare system in popular coastal regions like the Algarve is under intense strain. Residents regularly deal with severe doctor shortages and long wait times. Most foreign retirees plan to bypass this by paying for private insurance. But the trap nobody mentions is that many Portuguese insurers will outright deny new applicants once they reach their late 60s. This is where Coimbra dominates the coastal towns. It is home to the CHUC, the University Hospital Center. This is one of the largest and most respected medical networks in the entire country. It's where other regions send their difficult and complex cases. Living an hour away from a hospital in a rural town creates a quiet, lingering anxiety. Retiring next door to a massive medical hub offers complete peace of mind. At 75 years old, a 10-minute drive to a Tier 1 specialist is infinitely more valuable than a 10-minute walk to the beach. Let's look at the financial math, using Cascais as our foil. This is the gold standard for coastal living, and daily life here is excellent. But the arithmetic is harsh. A central Cascais one-bedroom runs €1,500 monthly, and that's before utilities. This matrix scores Coimbra against Cascais across base housing, tax buffer, and healthcare. Spending $1,500 on rent leaves zero margin for error once progressive taxes hit your pension. Coimbra, however, sits in the absolute cheapest rental tier in the country. Apartment listings in Coimbra start at the price point where Lisbon's utility bills end, creating a massive budget shield. Securing a cheap base rent is no longer an optional perk for budget travelers. It is a mathematical requirement to offset the loss of the NHR tax shelter. Then we have to address the physical reality of living in Portugal year-round. Specifically the damp misery of February. Outside of the summer season, winters in central and northern Portugal are wet, gray, and freezing. The problem is architectural. The charming, older granite housing stock gets cold from the inside out, and most of these buildings have zero central heating. The cold isn't on the street, it is trapped in your living room. It is deeply annoying to spend 3 months of the year wearing heavy layers indoors 24/7 just to mitigate the dampness. You can avoid this trap before you sign anything. Look at the apartment and ask the landlord specifically what the heating source is. If they hand you a plug-in radiator, walk away. Reinvesting your rent savings into a modern, fully insulated apartment is vastly superior to freezing inside a picturesque postcard town. Let's run your specific situation through a decision tree based on budget and physical needs, not aesthetics. We start with the prompt, what is your monthly budget? With at least €3,500 a month, we follow this path to Cascais. If your budget is effectively unlimited, Cascais delivers a premium coastal life without compromise, and you can comfortably settle there. If you are on a standard budget but absolutely refuse to compromise on having year-round beach access, the tree points to Tavira. Tavira gives you a real Portuguese town in the eastern Algarve. But choosing this path means you must budget for private healthcare from day one, because the public system here is stretched thin. Finally, we have the pragmatic optimizer. If you are on a fixed budget and prioritize safety, health, and financial breathing room, your decision clearly resolves at Coimbra. Here, you get a compact, walkable city heavily influenced by university culture. It has fast trains to Lisbon and Porto, and it completely avoids the trap of turning into a stagnant expat bubble. Regardless of which city you land on, talk to a cross-border accountant before you become a tax resident. That single meeting is the cheapest insurance you can buy against Portugal's current tax laws. A successful retirement requires optimizing for the boring metrics: hospitals, heating, and prices. The Portuguese sunshine comes with all of these places anyway.